So this is the eVac's third test, and today we're emptying 2 pit latrines. Actually, this first one isn't really a pit latrine. As you can see, it's a low flush latrine which is situated inside the house, and this is outside, vaguely similar to a septic tank. That means that the sludge is very watering, and as you can see, these containers are filling up in under 10 seconds. The slow bit is that now I've just filled 2 containers there, we've got to take them to the disposal pit. The disposal pit is unfortunately on the other side of the garden, and that means taking these containers full of toxic sludge across the vegetable patch, which is obviously not ideal, especially if you're a cabbage. If there was more labourers working on this at once, then the emptying could be continuing as other people were moving onto these containers. This is the second pit of the day, and this is us just having started. As you can see, this is a very different prospect. This is more of a traditional VIP latrine. We couldn't get in round the back because of a plastic dome that was built into the superstructure. So without cutting through this dome, we couldn't access the real pit. Cutting through the dome would have been quite an easy thing to do, but the repair certainly wouldn't have been. This is just right at the start. This is the first container we filled. So it took us considerably longer than subsequent containers. Probably because there's an awful lot of solids that need to come up at first. That's the first 2 containers full now. So again, there were just 2 of us actually working on the emptying. So to now empty these containers, Isaac had to come out from his spot above the pedestal and help me just pour them into the pit. This is the first container we emptied, so you can see that's got a fair few solids in it in comparison to the ones you'll see later on. By moving the lid between containers, any mess coming from the lid can be minimised. And you saw a little bit of the rubbish going in there as well. It's actually possible to tell a surprising amount just from the noise that the eVac's making. Whether it's sucking easily, or if there's a reasonable pressure in the container, or the container's full and there's suddenly a very high pressure for the eVac. You probably have noticed some surprise on my face there, or how quickly that filled up. That hose that you can see there is 4 metres long, so that gives you some idea that we're now getting quite deep into the pit. We've had to take off the handle that was attached to the end of the hose at this point because Isaac had to lean down and stick his hand right through the pedestal, and even then it wasn't long enough. Now you may be wondering why on earth I've decided to wear shorts to empty this pit latrine. And I was thinking the same thing actually by this point. The reason I'd done it was because my overchargers got absolutely covered in this sludge at the first pit latrine. And I really didn't want to put them back on again. As you're about to see, I did get an awful lot of sludge down my legs. Yeah, that's it just there. So what you're about to witness is our only blockage of the emptying. The container stopped filling and we kept trying for a while. But it became apparent that we were going to need to take the hose out. And here's the blockage. It was a bag of some sort stuck in the end. It had something in it and that had wedged itself. Now, you may be thinking I'm not kicking it particularly vigorously right now, but I was standing on the edge of a pit that you really wouldn't want to fall into. In the end, we got rid of it with a spade. This is us on our last bucket now, and as you can see we've made quite a mess of the area. Every time you pick that up, some could spill out. It was better when I was moving between two containers, but as there wasn't a huge amount of space there, that got abandoned. It's definitely something to work on in future emptying, is it? A way to do this, making sure that none of that sludge gets around, and if it does, then covering it with chlorine. Using a tank that can both have sludge sucked into, but then also having the sludge blown out the bottom could be an answer to that. And there we go, Isaac's just told me that we're at the bottom. Job's a good one.